Refueling, maintaining, and troubleshooting forklift cylinders. Propane-fueled forklifts offer numerous advantages over other types of industrial trucks, including greater safety through the use of a closed fuel system, fewer emissions, and healthier working conditions, and less wear and tear on carburetors and other engine components. This module gives you the basic information needed to fill, maintain, and troubleshoot forklift cylinders. However, before you begin the filling process, you need to make sure that you view the first 4 modules of this program. These 4 modules will provide you a better understanding of how to safely handle and transfer liquid propane, provide you with information about the dispensing equipment, various cylinder components, required cylinder markings, pre-fill visual inspection and requalification requirements, purging cylinders, as well as labeling, loading, and transporting cylinders. You have not completed the necessary training to fill, maintain, or troubleshoot forklift cylinders unless you complete modules 1 through 4 first. Forklift cylinder construction. Forklift cylinders are refueled by refilling them from a dispensing tank on-site or by exchanging an empty cylinder for a full one. Regardless of the method, before you refuel forklift cylinders, you should understand their construction and how they work. Properties of forklift cylinders. Forklift cylinders are manufactured to DOT specifications and, like smaller cylinders, can be made from either aluminum or steel. They typically hold 33 pounds of propane, but other sizes are also available. Every DOT cylinder has a foot ring. It is used to protect the bottom of the cylinder from damage and also functions as a support stand or base. Forklift cylinders also have a protective collar. It partially surrounds the valves in the service end. The collar often incorporates a handle for lifting and moving the cylinder. Openings for valves and fittings are located in the service end of the cylinder. Many valves are made with non-metallic or soft parts. If any of these parts become worn out, propane liquid or vapor can leak out of the valve and create a potentially hazardous situation, so valves should be examined at each filling or exchange of the cylinder. Forklift cylinder parts. One of the many parts of a forklift cylinder is the pressure relief valve, which provides overpressure protection to the cylinder. It should be kept clean, unrestricted, and set to the 12 o'clock position and directed upward at a 45-degree angle when the cylinder is mounted horizontally. Relief valves on forklift cylinders must be replaced within 12 years of the cylinder's manufacture date and every 10 years thereafter. A rain cap or dust cap must also be in place. Filler valves have an internal check valve to limit fuel loss in the event of an accident. This valve should be covered with a plastic cap. The fixed maximum liquid level gauge is an integral part of the filling operation when filling cylinders by the volume method. DOT cylinders may have a fuel gauge that shows the approximate fuel level. The liquid hose is the part of the carburation system that is equipped with the female portion of the connector. The liquid service valve is equipped with the male portion of a forklift connector, which acts as an added check valve. Both the male and female halves are equipped with 100% shutoffs. When coupled together, they open and allow gas to flow. If the liquid service valve is turned on without being connected to the female portion, no gas can escape because the coupler has 2 seals, an O-ring and a flat washer. Both the washer and the O-ring should be replaced if they show signs of wear, abuse, or leakage. The service valve can be turned off for service or emergencies and is equipped with an internal excess flow check valve designed to close automatically if a line is severed. When the propane cylinder is in use, the valve must be open completely. Filling cylinders. Before filling a cylinder, make sure you are aware of the following information regarding safety and handling procedures, and be sure to check with your supervisor for any exceptions. Know your facility's fire prevention and emergency evacuation plans, including where and how to operate emergency shutdown and pump controls. Please note that there are different types of emergency shutdown systems. Be sure you know how to operate the emergency shutdown system at your facility. Locate the nearest fire extinguishers and make sure they are in proper working condition. Only use fire extinguishers to create an escape route, not to fight a propane fire. The only safe way to extinguish a propane fire is by stopping the flow of propane. Before operating a filling station, ensure there are no ignition sources within 25 feet of the points of transfer or metalworking operations, including grinding, oxygen fuel gas cutting, brazing, soldering, or welding within 35 feet. Pre-filling procedures. Before starting the cylinder filling operation, follow these steps to ensure the safety of you, your customers, and fellow employees. Do not allow unauthorized people in the filling area. Open the secured filling area and inspect the cylinder filling station equipment. Remove the hose from its secure storage location. If the location isn't weather protected, remove the dust cap or plug from the hose filling adapter. Open the appropriate liquid outlet and bypass return valves on the storage tank. Verify the cylinder you are preparing to fill is a propane cylinder by reviewing the cylinder design code specification markings on the cylinder. Verify the cylinder is not out of date by checking the date code on the cylinder. Inspect the cylinder to be sure it's not damaged or leaking and is safe to fill. If the cylinder is new or is a cylinder that has been opened to the atmosphere, it will need to be properly purged before filling. If you find any defects that would prevent you from filling a cylinder, it should be marked and set aside in a designated safe area. Contact your propane supplier for assistance. Forklift cylinders must also be filled outdoors or in an approved filling area. The lift truck ignition should be off and the handbrake set. Filling cylinders on a truck requires certain safety measures. Not all jurisdictions allow filling on the truck. Check with your supervisor. If it is permitted, pull-away protection is required. Always put on appropriate personal protective equipment before filling cylinders. In addition, a trained operator must be present during the entire filling process. Filling by weight. When filling forklift cylinders by weight, it's important to note that the steps involved may vary depending on the type of equipment installed at the facility. Always consult your supervisor for more information. Before beginning the filling process, make sure the platform scale is clear of all debris and obstructions. In addition, platform scales require periodic maintenance and should be checked for accuracy. To fill a forklift cylinder by weight, make sure all cylinder valves are closed. Follow these steps to determine the total filled weight of a cylinder. Check the water capacity and tare weight stamped on the cylinder or its protective collar. Determine propane capacity by using the following formula. Water capacity in pounds times 0.42 equals propane capacity in pounds. Add the tare weight and propane capacity together to determine the total filled weight of the cylinder. Next, add the hose and fitting weight to the total filled weight of the cylinder. This is the scale set point. Set the platform scale to the set point. Make sure the scale is level and no obstructions interfere with proper operation. Always be present and pay close attention during the entire filling operation. Place the cylinder on the scale. Select the proper hose and adapter to fit the cylinder valve. Remove the protective cap or plug from the valve. Connect to the cylinder. Start the pump. If through a filler valve, slowly open the hose end valve. If through a service valve, open the hose end valve, then slowly open the cylinder service valve. When target weight is reached, close the hose end valve. Shut off the pump. Make sure the service valve is closed. Loosen the connection and wait for any trapped liquid to bleed off. When trapped liquid is vented, disconnect the hose end fitting. Verify the filled weight as required by regulations. Use an approved method, such as a non-corrosive leak detector solution, to check for leaks. Reinstall appropriate valve caps and plugs. If the cylinder has a filler valve, reinstall the cap. Replace any caps and plugs that are missing. Apply any required DOT and/or OSHA labels and a cylinder warning label if the manufacturer's label is not legible or you removed a paper or plastic sleeve. Filling by volume. Before filling cylinders by volume, open and close the vent valve on the fixed maximum liquid level gauge to be sure vapor vents. If no vapor escapes, the valve may be blocked and must be reopened before the gauge will operate properly. Do not attempt to fill a cylinder by volume if the fixed maximum liquid level gauge is damaged or inoperable. Filling by volume follows a similar procedure with a few adjustments. Make sure all cylinder valves are closed. Select the proper hose end adapter to fit the filler valve or service valve. Remove the protective cap or plug from the valve. Connect the cylinder. Open the vent valve on the fixed maximum liquid level gauge. If a white mist appears when the gauge is opened, stop. The cylinder is already full. Start the pump. If through a filler valve, slowly open the hose end valve. When a white mist begins to escape from the fixed maximum liquid level gauge, immediately close the hose end valve. Close the vent valve on the fixed maximum liquid level gauge. Failure to shut off the propane promptly will result in an overfilled cylinder. Overfilling a cylinder can create a hazardous condition. Shut off the pump. Loosen the connection and wait for any trapped liquid to bleed off. When trapped liquid has vented, disconnect the hose end fitting. Reinstall appropriate valve caps and plugs. If the cylinder has a filler valve, reinstall the cap. Replace any caps and plugs that are missing. Apply any required DOT and/or OSHA labels and a cylinder warning label if the manufacturer's label is not legible or you removed a paper or plastic sleeve. Position the cylinder securely using the locating pin on the truck and the hole in the cylinder collar. Secure the hold-down straps properly. Reconnect the fuel line and check the cylinder and its valves for leaks with a non-corrosive leak detector solution, inspecting the gaskets and O-rings in the filler valve and service valve connector for defects or leaks. Post-filling procedures. After the cylinder filling operation has been completed or any time the filling station is unattended, close the valves at the storage tank. Store the hose on a rack inside a fence-protected area, inside the dispenser cabinet, or secured to a supporting structure inside the filling room. If the location isn't weather-protected, install a dust cap or plug into the hose filling adapter. Secure the installation against tampering or unauthorized use. Cylinder exchange. Park the truck in a designated safe area and stop the engine. Close the cylinder valve and remove the quick disconnect coupling from the cylinder. Remove the empty cylinder from the cradle holding device and store it in a designated safe area. Select a filled cylinder and check it for damage or leaks. Also be sure to inspect the fuel lines and forklift connector couplings, especially the washers and O-rings, for damage or signs of aging. Be sure the cylinder valve is closed prior to connecting. Carefully install the filled cylinder in the cradle on the truck so the cylinder locator pin enters the locating hole in the cylinder collar. Securely mount the cylinder in its brackets and within the outline of the vehicle. Reconnect the fuel line to the cylinder liquid service valve and open the valve slowly. In some instances, locating pins may be missing or broken off, allowing the cylinder to be mounted in any position. When this happens, the liquid withdrawal tube may give a false indication that the cylinder is empty. The pressure relief valve may also be immersed in liquid fuel, which would cause the cylinder to vent liquid in the event that it was activated. In the event that the locating pins for a cylinder are broken, take the forklift out of service. Check for leaks using an approved method, such as a non-corrosive leak detector solution. If a leak is found, close the valve immediately and notify your supervisor or manager. If no leaks are found, start the engine and proceed with your work.